All right, we are live, guys.
What's going on, everybody?
Sorry, it took a little bit longer because we were finishing up with a customer. We're live. We're in the shops right now, so we're open for about another hour. Nate and Ryan are open for about another hour down there too. So, yeah. Make sure you're not touching any guns in the background there.
Yeah, he's not.
So, but we got a special live tonight. We got Travis with us. Travis is the owner of Holdup Displays. The wonderful, and I know I'm zoomed out today. I'm a little different. Take my mic with me, but you can see the walls behind me are beautiful display walls. Those are Holdup display walls that we redid the showroom with, and they are by far the best gun display walls that I've ever dealt with. So Travis is the creator of those, and so we're going to talk to him a little bit about it. So Travis, to start off, could you give us a little background on Holdup Displays and what inspired you to start that company?
Yeah, so my family has been in the display business my entire life. Started out actually in the music industry, and we manufacture guitar hangers. Do the same thing in music stores all around the world. And so I grew up in that mindset of ways to solve problems for displaying more valuable items, right? Imported books and utilitarian displays are all over the place. It's very cost effective, and it really doesn't matter that much because the items they're holding are of pretty low value or insignificance. And so another unique area is that we're rural Wisconsin, so as much as a lot of music, we're a hunting, fishing, camping, outdoor family. And honestly, the changeover actually started when we used a lot of the instrument displays like in the woods, in the field, and the need for them while we're hunting and shooting and at the range. We're making stands and displays and stuff. And so then we started to transform that into a need that we saw for a vault room storage device that's like specifically for the shooting sports industry. And beginning, that was more the stall point was trying to do in the field displays versus what you see behind you right now. And when we kind of started to push forward into that market of building out different size display panels where you can move everything around, organize it how you want, several different ways to display a pistol, several different ways to display a long gun, that kind of blew the top off of our sales. And the last few years have been growing like crazy.
Oh, fantastic. So obviously you're in Wisconsin. I'm in Wisconsin. So, as a fellow Wisconsin-based company, we're really proud of what you've done in the industry here, and just kind of want to get your thoughts on what it's like running a business in Wisconsin, and has the local community supported you at all?
Oh, definitely. So we're rural Wisconsin, right? When I come over to your side of the state, I was like, "There's too many people over here."
There are too many people.
Too much concrete and blacktop. So we are actually our 40,000 square foot facility is in a rural, on a state highway. We're not actually even in a municipality. The closest town is 5 miles away, and it's 500 people, and then 5 miles the other way, there's another town of 500 people. And I explain that because part of the reason I believe that we're open and successful in manufacturing is we stamp, bend, weld, powder coat, fabricate, we do it all right here. Is one in I guess a sad note, I would say, is the failure of family farming. If you don't have hundreds to thousands of cows and have a factory farm, it's really hard to make ends meet. So a lot of our best employees are hardworking people that grew up in family farms that are no longer operational, and either the land's been bought by a big farm or by a guy that likes to hunt and the farm's just sitting, and the cropland's maybe being rented. And it's not all of our employees, but it's a strong percentage, especially the guys that get some dirt under their fingernails and welding, stamping, things like that. And our employees are awesome. So yeah, without it takes a family, it takes an army to do. Be just an idea without them.
I know everybody we talked to over there has been absolutely fantastic. Is it? I'm trying to remember. Is it Rob that takes the dimension orders?
Yeah. So Rob's our main sales guy. His office is right through the wall I'm facing, and I've known him a long time, and I still like to do those too. So there's a fair chance that you call here that I'm going to grab the phone, or Crystal and Melissa. They'll take just a standard order if it's stock parts off the shelf. But if we're building a room, it's usually Rob or I. They'll take that call. Maybe Gabe if we could pull them away from the marketing tasks.
Sure. Yeah. No. Rob is fantastic because he's straight into the point, and you try to I've got this dimension, but he goes, no, just think of it in a square and send me those dimensions. Okay.
Yep. And to the nearest 6-inch increment in height.
Yes.
The nearest foot in length, unless you want to pay a little extra for custom cuts, we can do that too.
Right. Exactly.
Travis, we've worked with your display walls, and we're huge fans of your product. For those who may not know, what sets Holdup display walls? What sets you guys apart from the other display manufacturers out there?
Yeah. So lots of things. You can buy, like I was saying in the beginning of the video, generic displays from different .coms that make store fixture displays, and you can make them work. In fact, I've seen that a lot. Pressboard slat wall and just a steel hook, and people put their guns on it. And it works. You might see some scratching, and some people say, well, if they don't care, that will be more affordable, and that's okay. We're not going to be for everybody. It's not going to be the most affordable way that you could display and do a gun room, but I do believe it is the best value. So then if you step to other brands that do what we do, the biggest difference I would say would be the strength of the extruded aluminum wall panels. They are heads, tails above anything else on the market that you can buy. We pay a lot of money to have that material the way that it is, powder coated the way that it is, to be as strong as it is, because we never know where somebody's going to hang a concealed carry pistol and where they're going to put a case of ammo. And it's designed to take any of that. You buy it once, you put it on the wall, and it's a lifetime product. We have situations where that material's been on the wall for knocking on 30 years now, and it is just virtually indestructible if you use it for any of the products that we intend to display with it and mount it the way that it's supposed to be mounted. So that's the biggest difference. The other thing I would say, and this is honestly what our customers have told us, that if you have a question that's a little outside of the box, or your room build's a little bit different, or maybe your collection's a little bit different, somebody, whether Rob or I, or even some of the gals here, or even our people in our assembly department, they all know the difference between an AR and an 870, and that I think has some value versus just somebody that is not involved in the sport.
Yeah, we kind of already almost answered my next question, but okay. For businesses looking to showcase products on the wall, what would you say are the top reasons a display wall is a game changer?
The modularity. I think that's one area where, specifically with our aluminum slats, you can buy 4x8 sheets of pressboard slat wall. We've seen guns come down when people do that, because pressboard is not all created equal, and time and humidity can weaken it. And but the other thing that's nice about the tongue and groove slat fixtures or the slat walls that we make is that you can start with a 4 foot tall by 10 foot wide. Yep. So there's our profile, stacks tongue and groove, and then you can 2 years down the road be like, man, I bought more guns, I need to go 2 feet taller, and you add on 4 rows and you get it 2 feet taller. And you can add on the end and say, I'm going to make it 16 feet now. And we'll add little joiner pieces that slip in the end there to keep the alignment just how you want. And we'll add on down the wall. And that's really difficult to do with any other of the products out there, with the exception to the metal mesh grid systems that some people make, kind of like pegboards and different things. but you're never going to get the strength. You get the modularity there, but there's no way that the center of a piece of sheet metal, I don't care if it's 14 gauge, 12 gauge, that when you put pressure in the center of that 2x2 square, that thing's moving. It's just gonna.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. So, that I just wanted to touch on that because we looked at, gun pig board in the past before we went to this route, and I had been looking at it for about a year. And every point that you just brought up was a concern of mine before having it, and then I talked to some customers of ours who have ordered a pigboard wall style gun wall, and it's way heavier. They don't get the support in the middle, like you said, and then the hardware. I don't think the hardware is as well designed as what you guys have to offer. So, and I know we talked about this a little bit before we jumped on the live, and I'm going to probably screen share here in just a second. So I think this next question kind of ties into that. So for our viewers who might be thinking about investing in a display wall, what should they consider before purchasing? So what's the most important thing to keep in mind when they're going to purchase one of these walls?
Well, I think it first starts at the idea of a lot of people are like, well, I don't have a vault room. I'm not really a Holdup customer. And I just like to pause people there and say, okay, how big's your safe? How many of your guns are actually in your safe? Maybe you have 2 or 3 safes. And what's it like when you want to go shoot? Is that an enjoyable process? And so let's just start with maybe bringing some more people in aisle to say, well, maybe I do have that room in my house that's either extra large where I could frame out a portion of it, or a closet that I could steal, or people get to the point where maybe kids moving out of the house, you can steal back a bedroom to create a gun room. So we've seen a lot of super creative ideas for security, adding doors, adding steel mesh in the walls, to taking a basement and putting up cinder blocks and a pre-stressed cap and putting an aftermarket after the home's already built vault room into a home. So now that we have some form of security, which people go to whatever level they want to spend the money to have, then I would say the biggest consideration that we've seen customers sometimes bottleneck themselves is starting a little bit too small. I'm a hunter and I like to shoot. We don't competitively shoot. Our family shoots in our backyard. We live up in the country, like I said. But to just be like, hey, I don't have to have this whole production to grab 1 or 2 guns and go out, and everything's organized from ear protection to camo to mags. Everything is, I know where it's at, and I don't have to go hunting around. I don't have to dig to the back of the safe. But with that in mind, to create a space that's large enough where you can store everything that you do that's tied to shooting in one space. And then when you do that, know that it's this, granted, we're blessed enough to be Americans and live in America and own guns and lots of them.
Right.
Probably not the last one, right? You're going to get more. So giving yourself room to grow, that's where the modularity is really handy. And make sure that you start with enough room that you don't. That's the once in a while I'm talking with customers. The hard point is when they tell me their number and they tell me the size of the room, and I'm like, oh man, it's just one step better than having a safe. You gotta give yourself room to grow and get all your stuff in there and have the organization that really makes owning our products so much more enjoyable.
Nice. So Travis, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to screen share here real quick because I think this is probably one of the most important steps that somebody should consider. I mean, what's really nice about it is someone can kind of plan out their wall before purchasing and kind of get a really good idea of what they can do with it and the sizes that are available. So I'm going to screen share here real quick. And while I do that, if you could do us a favor and just move just a little closer to the mic.
Okay.
And then just kind of guide me through building a wall. So let me share the screen here real quick. All right. So there we go. All right. So now I'm in the wall builder portion of your website.
Right.
So, and in a second here, I will put up your website so everybody can go to it. So give me 1 second.
Yep. And we just want to note that you want to do this on a desktop. On a smartphone, there's just not enough screen.
There we go. All right. So now I'm ready to start building the wall. So I did put up a QR code and it dropped the link in the chat. So if
Yep.
anybody's interested, the link will take you right to the Holdup Displays website. And then you'll just select the wall builder to get where we're at. And here you can start building out for what you need. So Travis, if you want to kind of give me a little instructions here, we'll kind of build the wall together.
Yeah. So what I typically do, otherwise it's going to default to black walnut, which is the first color choice there, is pick a color. We'll just do gunmetal gray. It's a sweet color and very visible to see, a cool wall color, and still see all the guns very well on the screen. So then we're going to pick our width, and just for speaking purposes, a good size wall, that's a great starting point for a lot of people. Let's just do an 8-foot wall. Then it won't get too big. And so you go 96 inches. And then for height, let's say 48 inches. So this would be, just for frame of reference, everybody can say this is a 4x8 sheet of plywood. That's the size that we're working with here. And so we've got that size, and we've got the color selected, and you can see it automatically builds that over there. Now, just for fun, so everybody can see before we put any fixtures on it, hit that show slat wall layout button, just so you can see how we will ship this. So it'll be a combination of 48-inch and 24-inch sections to stagger the seams. That is a visual and a strength aid, and that's why we do it that way. We can't ship pieces as long as a lot of the wall sections are going to be, so they're all built with a different series of 24, 36, or 48-inch extrusions. So if you did like an 11-foot wall or a 9-foot wall, you're going to see 3-foot pieces mixed in. But it's going to follow the same pattern. And at the end, it'll be really important that we want to save that layout. But we'll remind them at the end. So now we'll go to add racks. That's step 2. And HD53 there in the top left, that is probably our most popular selling rack of any type. We make that in a screw mount fixture as well, but most of them that we sell are for our slat walls. You can drag and drop that over. Pretty much every wall we build includes one of those. And then there's multiple ways to display a long gun. So we could grab one of the 105s there if you want, and that could go, yeah, I don't know if it'll work. So that's one thing we'll note. So if you try to drop it somewhere where it's going to intersect with other guns, the wall builder won't let you, because we don't want to let people overpopulate their wall.
Right.
So the thing to keep in mind is that typically you can get more on the wall than this will let you. You could grab one of those, the singles there, the HD04. That's really popular as well. So right here, we have a really good balance of how you can display a long gun. The good news is the cost per gun is the same. So the cost to display the guns in all 3 of these scenarios per gun is exactly the same. And it's all about space and presentation. So with the HD53 on the left side, you can get significantly more guns on this wall, or with that HD80, that triple that you just put on there, than you can doing all singles like that one. But everybody's got that 1 or 2, maybe 3 that they want really showcased. And that's where you want a few of the HD04s a lot of times to be part of your wall build.
Nice.
So now we could go over to look at some pistol displays. That's typically the next step. Get the guns on first, and then we can talk accessories. So there's a big decision that you have to make when it comes to pistol displays. And it's if you're going to do in barrel, which would be one of those HD52s. There's a left, right, and center facing. And the 52s are a very functional, cost-effective display. But some people will say, hey, I don't know that I like the idea of putting a metal rod in the barrel of my pistol. And fair enough. We completely respect that. You want the HD09, which is what you're hovering on there. It is about double the money because there's a lot more fixture there. It swivels in the center, so you can pivot. You can face that pistol either direction, and it cradles it with padded cradles on both sides. One note on the in barrels, we've done displays for multiple gun manufacturers, and every one of them will say, you are never going to scratch the inside of our hardened steel barrels with a 1018 powder coated steel rod. It's just not happening. Right. But I respect everybody's opinion on that, and so that's why we make both types.
So we actually use all these 3 pistol holders are what we're using on our wall right now.
Okay. Yep.
So we
yeah. So the center one there isn't super common. We do that once in a while for like inventory purposes. You could get hundreds of pistols on the wall in that capacity with the grip facing out. They just don't present really well. But if it's about storage, the HD52 center facing is pretty hard to beat. You can get a ton of guns on the wall.
Right. And we were, I won't put this one on, but the right facing in barrel, the 90 degree.
Yep.
I was going to get a few sets of those when I ordered, and talking to Rob, he talked me out of it.
Yeah.
He did a good job talking me out of it. Because anytime you want to go take a gun out, like you got to take multiple guns out to move others. So, but I mean, I understand this has its place, and
it has its place when you want to present it sideways and you want to do it at half the money of the HD09.
Exactly. So
Yep.
it has its place, but for a gun store, probably not the most ideal.
I agree. Yep.
And so
All right. So now let's if you got any archery stuff, a lot of our customers, I'm a huge archery guy. And we keep our bows. Well, we keep our bows in a different room on one of our walls, but where our target and our range is. Some guys put it right in their gun room, and like we said earlier on that, choosing the space of the room. A lot of guys, they have a hunting room, right? So they got totes with all their gear, their camo, their optics, their bows, crossbows, guns, ammo, everything. And some guys, it's just guns. So that really depends on who it is and what you're after. You probably, there you go.
Just trying to
that once in a while, I think that's where certain people are like, I can't figure your wall out. Well, they can't figure it out because they feel like they should be able to drop it somewhere, but there's a little cushion bumper all the way around all those things that prevents people from overloading their wall. But if you want to drag and drop any of those gun fixtures into the trash can, it'll make you a little bit more room, and then you can put a crossbow up there if you want, or however you want to do it. There you go. There we go. Yep. So that fixture that crossbow's hanging in can actually be swiveled 180 degrees, so you can face that either direction. But yeah, we want to look at. I guess we should have started with a bigger wall. That's my fault. But
no, that's all right.
There's some.
Get the idea.
Yeah, our heavy duty shelves. Those are super popular. They're heavy duty steel. We bend them up here on our press brake, and they're quite impressive. I believe we rate them at, I think, 50 pounds for the smaller one and 75 for the bigger. But I weigh about 200, and then one of our marketing videos, I walked up a set of those on the wall. They're quite impressive.
Yeah.
That mag holder is another thing that it seems incredibly simple, and some people are like, I don't want to put my mags on the wall, and then they call back and they order like 12 or 15 after they've gotten two. We sell just thousands and thousands of those. So yeah, helmet vests. We do a lot of walls that are kind of like a kit out room for maybe somebody that's active duty, military, police, and they want to have their full rig, or just somebody that runs a rig like that for personal security. And we sell a lot more of those as well than I would have originally guessed when we first came out with them.
I really like mine in my office. It looks pretty slick. So
Yep.
Did I skip? Is it just nope?
Yep.
Additional accessories.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff that typically somebody would use maybe like on a countertop, or people, we just wanted to throw some things there so people know there is a whole lot of other display fixtures on our website that are not in the wall builder, just because they're like either for a display case, or there's certain parts to like the locks that are going to work with the fixtures. If you wanted to lock the guns on the wall, you could do that, but you're going to have to do it in addition to the fixtures. And that's where we typically would say, hey, give us a call, let us help you out with your final, just to make sure we get everything right. If you wanted to do something like that, but there's a ton of other stuff on our website, freestanding racks and things that don't necessarily just pop on this wall without a little bit more information. And so they're not part of the wall builder, so people don't accidentally just throw them in here in airspace and not know what they're for.
Nice. So is there anything, we kind of covered all the things that you could drag and drop on there and see how the wall is going to get shipped to you and split up. Is there anything else that we would need to do here before we would basically submit it to you or give you the dimensions?
No, besides save the layout, but I'll step back real quick. One other thing, that heavy duty shelf that's there, that's the 17-inch one. We do have a 23-inch. we kind of run it for 24 inch as well. So that's just, yeah, there you go. That's one other decision. Like pretty much everybody puts a shelf on their wall, and not everybody scrolls down and sees that wider one. So just wanted to point that out. If you're going to go all the way across an 8-foot wall, like a lot of people put a row all the way across. So there's one shelf all the way across the bottom or maybe the top. Then the 23 inch, 24 inch works the best because you can go all the way along and it fills the space just right.
Okay. Well, very
But then
nice.
you want to go down and hit that save layout button, and then it would drop a PDF, and it'll show you that picture and that layout. So when the package comes, you know exactly how you want to put it on the wall.
Awesome. Nate, I kind of feel like Travis did a really good job answering the rest of our questions.
Yeah, I totally agree.
He's very good at this. But we want to kind of show Nate has a piece of your hardware that's that wouldn't be on the wall, but we think is probably one of the most ingenious things that you guys offer, and to me it's stupid affordable. So we're gonna go to Nate's. We're gonna add Nate's phone here real quick. So hang on one second. Nate's gonna show us your A-frame gun rack.
I like that. Yeah, so that is our HD39, and it's a freestanding rack for, honestly, some people, if they have like a large enough room, will put some of those on the floor in the room. Otherwise, it's a really popular accessory for going to the range. Honestly, we use it a lot of times for when our marketing team's setting up a shoot. You know, you got guns laying everywhere, and you don't want to be leaning them against things because bad stuff happens when they slip and tip. That's just a really secure. It's very, very similar to that 6-gun rack that you guys dragged and dropped onto the wall. It just has a rear kickstand. And we do make a short barrel add-on kit for it. So if you've got stuff that is not quite long enough to reach that upper bar, you can add that on, and you can deal with some really, really short stuff because it slides up and down, and it can slide to like the shortest possible and accommodate pretty much any type of shoulder fired gun.
Nice. Yeah, we really like it. I think, Nate, it works out really well for you for like incoming and outgoing projects.
Yeah, we use it for guns that we've got prepared for customers. So, you know, here we're a custom shop. We do custom paint jobs, laser engraving, custom builds. And so when we're done with a project, we'll bring it up to the front, set it on that rack, and customers coming to pick it up will see us pulling it off that rack, and man, everybody asks about it. And we also use it when we go to the range. It's quick breakdown, so it goes into the trunk real easy, or into the back of your pickup truck, and we take it to the range and set it up so that we don't have to go into our cases and you know, get guns in and out. We have them all readily available for us to access. And also, Dave, if you do want to go back to my my other camera, I can display the podcast wall that we have here with a little bit of a setup that has everything on it. So you'll kind of see here. I'll walk around. You know, we've got the shelves, we've got the pistol mounts, we've got the rifle rack, we've got the helmet hangers, the plate carrier hangers.
Nate, you walked away from your mic.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Let me grab my mic. There we go. That's better. Yeah, so you can see here. Oh, hold on. There we go.
There we go.
So we've got pretty much a nice array of everything on here, you know, mag holders, plate carrier holders, helmet hangers, rifle rack, and pistols over here on the left-hand side as well. Just a great way to set up and display your guns or have easy access to them. We absolutely love it here at the shop, and we get so many compliments on the walls here at the shop, you know. This is our main cash wrap wall. We've got a wide variety of guns on there, and over here as well. These are guns that we have for customers to pick up.
So one thing that you guys have there that I want to point out too, because everybody's going to want black camo now. There's one more, I guess we'll say, guideline that you need to stay within to run the camo that we sell, and that is larger, slightly more restrictive sizes, because that print is a set size. It's 3 feet tall by 4 feet wide. So you can make your walls if they're 3 feet tall by 4 foot wide, or 8 foot wide, or 12 foot wide. That's no problem. You can go 6 foot tall by 4 foot, 12 foot, 16 foot, whatever you want in those increments, and you can keep that camo pattern. I don't know if you guys jumped your camo pattern on your install. Some people do. They just don't worry about it, and it looks cool either way. But it's sold in increments of 3 foot tall, 6 foot wide, and then up to you on how you install it. If you're really careful to keep the pattern aligned as you go, or you just wing it. We've seen both.
Well, Gabe hooked us up, and we were able to maintain the pattern on 2 of the 3 walls. So, and you can't tell on the 3rd wall, really. I mean, unless you're really looking for it.
Yeah. Once you put guns on it and you break the pattern, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah. Cool. It looks great.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I think we got a pretty good question here for you, Travis.
Yeah.
So Pat is asking, is Holdup displays only built for firearms and firearm related items? Yeah. Or like, have you ever had anybody put it up in like a mechanic shop?
Yeah, I won't call myself a mechanic, but it's in my mechanic shop. I saw that question come in, and I was like, man, I hope he asked that one. It's a great question. So our slat wall is as universal as possible. So it's the strongest slat wall in the world. I'm confident in that. And we don't make lots of displays for wrenches and tools and hammers and stuff like that. It has been discussed. Right now, we're just trying to keep up with our growth in the shooting sports industry, and we're happy with that. But it may happen in the future. So the one thing I would say is you can definitely put it up as the slat wall. And we do have some fixtures. Our normal display hooks for hanging accessories and stuff like that are 4 times as strong as anything that you're going to get that's imported. But we don't have like a full line of other generic display fixtures for tools and such. But it would start you with the strongest base plate of any display wall you can find.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nacho, how-to guides, question mark. You guys, there wasn't really like a user manual that came with it, but to be honest with you, this is so self-explanatory.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of dumbasses like Ryan and I were able to put it together.
I was gonna say, if Ryan put it up, anybody can put it up.
That's right.
Yeah, there's an install video at the bottom of our homepage that I think is pretty short, pretty straightforward. And I think when most people watch that, they gain a lot of confidence on the ability to do the install themselves. If you have a cordless drill and a level, you can do it. We don't have like an install manual for each individual wall size because they're also modular and they're also different. So there'll be an install about how you locate the studs and where you put the screws in the slots and how you slide the, insert strip covers in, all of the like basics per rail. But, somebody can go to our website and they can order it 6.5 feet tall, 13 feet long. So that setup precisely, if you don't save your layout, your instructions are not going to reflect that because every day we're shipping, 20 orders out, all different sizes.
Right. And so I think this is a good time to kind of show some of the hardware that, I held up the slat wall a little bit there, but I'm going to have Dustin jump in here a little bit. There is one piece that comes with your stuff that whoever invented this thing should be a millionaire. Probably is. This little guide, right?
Oh man. Yeah.
This thing centers your screw in the slat. So when you go to screw the wall in, you set it in, you can see there's actually a screw in there. But you would just set it in here like this, and it can't go up or down, and you're not driving it on an angle down or up or side. Each side it's going to go in straight. And so this made life very, very easy.
Awesome.
Even in the situation that we did, just pre-drilling holes because we had a tap con. And I'll let Dustin kind of explain it, because I think it's worth noting that if you don't have a studded drywall setup, we have terracotta bricks on the back ends of this wall. My building was built in 1929, so we don't have anything straight here, and it's all weird construction. But Dustin had a great way to set it up. I'll have you kind of explain what you did.
Sure. So what we ended up doing is Dave was a rock star, and he pre-drilled all the holes for me. And then when we brought it out here, when we started new walls, we needed 2, if not 3 people. So we held it, marked it, drilled it, moved it, finished drilling, all the things. And then once you get that first piece mounted up, it's just easy sailing after that. But with using that rig with the self tappers, pre-drilling the hole and then widening the hole with the drill bit so the tap kind of fit through was such an easy process. The only way it could be sturdier on the wall is if we used like some kind of a toggle bolt or some kind of heavy duty hollow wall anchor. But I mean,
an adhesive.
Yeah, that big old bead of liquid nail on the back on top of all the other stuff. But with the way our walls like wave, this actually worked out really nice, because when we did get the tap cons in there, we'd eye it down, and when we saw it, just back it off just a little bit. And
back.
I know everyone's like, well, put furring strips up, and it's like, well, yeah, sure, but
those have to get attached too.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get those affixed first. But this is the coolest system that I've ever had to install, and even with all the extra work, it went up so easy. It's ridiculous. I think if you need instruction manuals to put this stuff up, you need an instruction manual on how to use a cup. So, but
we do send instructions.
Yeah, we know. We didn't read them. So, I think the other thing
Typical men.
Yeah, men. I think the other thing we want to point out is, so again, you send certain length pieces, and what you sent for us needed to be trimmed down. That's why we have this little piece. So we trimmed it down. That's how we have it. And so Dustin, how much was that blade?
I think it was like $60.
Yeah.
But bearing in mind, I'm only going to buy this blade one time, so I got a really nice one.
Yeah. Which brand did you buy?
What's that?
Do you remember which brand you bought?
No, I can send you an email when I.
We always recommend the Diablo. They're red. They sell them at Lowe's, Home Depot. It's a multi-purpose blade, and it's meant to cut wood, copper, and aluminum. And you can cut it on anybody's chop saw. I still recommend putting down a piece of masking tape if you're going to do your own cutting, and just to keep from any like chips that fly around to kind of scuff the surface. But yeah, it's very manageable to cut, but just, you're not going to cut it with a set of tin snips. You need to.
Oh God, no.
You need the right blade, and you need to cut it well. But it can be done quite easily.
There may or may not have been a mention of a hacksaw, and I'm like, no, fuck that.
Yeah, any actually like metal cutting blade, if you use like a hacksaw or even like a reciprocating sawzall, the aluminum's actually too soft. It gums up the blade, and it does not cut very well at all. The best way to cut it is with a circular saw, but it needs to be multi-purpose, because the tips of that circular saw blade are hardened more, and it just chop right through it like it's a piece of wood.
I've got the one that I got was specifically designed for cutting through aluminum.
Okay, sweet. Well, I'm glad it worked well.
As a matter of fact, the one I got was for aluminum and steel. So,
yeah, sure.
I wanted to make sure I was getting the right one. So
it went through it like butter.
It was like $68 or something like that. It was the most I spent on a single blade ever. But I've used it like it's paid for itself 10 times over with this job and a bunch of jobs at the house and stuff. I'm like, oh, this tube is aluminum. Yoink. Yeah, all right, that's done. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I think
And if people aren't up to that task or don't have a chop saw, we do custom cuts. So we can do that if you measure out your room, measure twice, because once it gets to you, if it's too long, it's too long. But we do custom cuts for an upcharge, so we can go right corner to corner. It's got to keep your material thickness in mind. That material is 5/8 thick. So if you measure corner to corner on one wall, the next wall is 5/8 less.
Yeah. I think the only little bit of criticism I'm going to give you, Travis, is every time I see somebody install one of these things, I always looked at them like, where's the hardware? Why am I not seeing the hardware? And then you send these little strips. So you'll see we got confused because we didn't read instructions, Travis.
Okay.
Because
it's in there.
Yeah, we would get the screws, and all the screws came in and they're black. And I'm like, I'm going to look at, black screw heads. Nope. This nice, I don't know what you call these things, but this nice little strip goes in and it covers the head of the hardware. Yep. And it really gives the wall a clean look. So if you got somebody like Ryan that didn't go up in a straight line with his screws and they were all over, then this helps cover his mistakes. So
in Ryan's defense, we had a couple of wide flyers there.
Yeah. That was an add-on. I think it's been almost 2 years now that we've been shipping. They're a vinyl insert strip. They're also made in Wisconsin, so that's cool. And we try to source about everything we can, at least in the Midwest, but a lot of it is Wisconsin. And one other thing that's actually really nice about them that was kind of an unforeseen add-on, besides covering the screw heads when we added more colors, especially the lighter ones like what you have, is that we've actually had a fair amount of customers move their wall.
Sure.
And you move your wall and it's got holes in it and it's no big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's exactly what we thought of too, was, hey, if we end up having to move this at all, like, we're going to be okay.
Yep.
The only tough part we ran into is the wall that's right behind Dustin here is we have, it's technically, there's a corner there by our closet door, and then there's a big trim piece there, and we couldn't slide it in on the ends. And so we had to go and like pinch it. And
tucking it in the face is no fun. A Sharpie can help, or if you got somebody that has very thin, strong fingers, because it goes in kind of hard, but you can do it.
We got strong fingers, but they ain't thin.
Also, using the tools for like removing trim from automobiles works really good too.
Oh, sure. Like the little kind of blade. Yeah, I bet. Get it started and then just slide it down.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think the kind of the other thing we wanted to cover too was the hardware, the hanging hardware. So like this is, I forget your model number.
HD09.
Yep. So that one there has the rubber tubing that's on the hook, and so not only does it protect the firearm, but it also, which is nice for us as far as displays go, it kind of helps keep the firearm at an angle that we like.
Yeah,
so you can angle it different ways or have it right up and down, and it's nice. It keeps it in place. And then there's also might be a little hard to see, but you can make the hooks a little wider. Yep. So it's a two position.
Yep.
And
there's also on that center acorn nut, there's a nut underneath that. So you can take that off, you can loosen it, and you can swivel it, and you can tighten it to where it won't swivel, or you can move it over to that other hole, depending on the shape and size of the pistol, to keep it balanced and centered and tilted however you want.
Yep, absolutely. So if you're gonna get the wall and get the hanging hard, like I'd recommend these.
Yeah, that's the deluxe one. They're just, they're a little bit more expensive than the in barrels.
Right. And so this is the one that, you would put right in the barrel.
Yep.
And so this one's angled off, and it might be a little hard to see if you look up by our play button. Yep. Up here we've got some revolvers angled off that way, and then the single rifle hanging hardware, same thing. You're getting that rubber tubing.
Yep. And
it took us a minute to figure out which one should hold the barrel and which one should hold the butt. And then we looked at instructions, Travis. That's the point that we looked at instructions.
Yeah, there's an arrow one for the stock end, and then the wider one is usually out the foregrip for like a quad rail or double barrel shotgun. Sometimes they're a little overkill, right? It might be wider than it needs to be, and then sometimes you'll slide it back and put it under the stock on the barrel end instead of at the barrel. We just too narrow. It won't sit down in there, and the gun could potentially fall out. So we want to make sure it's wide enough for the widest front stock that you can put on an AR, and that's exactly the shape that it is.
They do look a little silly with some of those old school 22s that are like a half inch of stock, and it's like,
yeah,
like, really?
Yeah, or like an old single shot shotgun. We're coming out with that HD04 on the website now. There's going to be an archery version of it. It'll be like archery only, and it's going to be a double narrow. So if you ever have the old school traditional stuff, you could do a double narrow cradle. It'll be a stock item on the website just shortly.
Yep. And so just looking back at the chat there, I think the Tactical Llama just wants me to talk about him, but he says he loves the live, but we need a little more chat interaction, and we need to tell him what we're talking about. So we're Tactical Llama. We are talking to Travis, the owner of Holdup Displays, who has designed.
It's all over this live.
I was gonna say it's literally in the title of this live, but we got our fantastic display walls from Travis and Holdup Displays, and Nate down at the King of Camo has gotten them also. And we got different versions. We opted to go for this light gray color because that's kind of what we had before and people were used to. It's a little, I like it because the guns kind of pop off of it. You can actually tell what you're looking at. But when you go down, I went down and saw Nate's in person. I was in Nate's showroom and I looked at that camo print and I went, shit. That was phenomenal. So maybe the next one we do something a little different. So yeah, Nate.
Yeah, our most popular color is still actually black. We sell more black than anything else. And the biggest thing I would say is when you're making that decision, if you're going to go with darker colors like the camo or the black, you just need lighting. You need really good lighting, and black guns on a black wall look fantastic when they have light shining on them.
Yeah.
Well, considering that we're an actual gun store, you're right. We do sell stuff on YouTube. Idiots.
It's time to shill. So Travis, is there any new colors or any new schemes or anything coming down the pipe? Or I think if I remember right, do you offer a custom background? Like if somebody wanted to have like a certain style or logo or something put on it?
We have done some customizations for manufacturers or certain shops. To be honest, we've grown a lot in the last couple of years, so we've leaned away from that a little bit just because it's a little cost preventative for us to take where we're running the 8 colors that we have now, thousands of pieces, and to do one where it's a few hundred in a custom color. We do manufacture everything right here, so to say that we can't make slight adjustments is untrue. It's just a lot of times when I tell people what that costs to take people that are just making parts and be like, we're going to make this one different. It can be a little bit expensive, but it can happen. I don't see us adding a new stock color unless we eliminate another one, which sure. I would be a little surprised if we do, but it might. We sell white, and we don't sell a ton of white, but we've done a few rooms in white that look pretty stinking awesome. So I don't know. We'll see. There's been some suggestions of different colors, but right now, just keeping all the colors in stock, the load that is on our powder coating fulfillment, things like that, it is a lot. The one new teaser that we talked about in the beginning is we sell a lot of our American flag wall that right now is 30 inches tall by 48 inches wide. It's a really nice small kind of kit out station, or somebody would surround it with another color. But we're in the process of working on a larger flag that is going to be 6.5 feet tall, 12 feet wide, and around the shop we just call it the super flag. But that information should be coming out shortly.
Nice. And in fact, I'm going to drop your web address down in the chat here again one more time.
How are we doing today? I got it for you.
There we go. So there's a link in the chat there for everybody. If you haven't gotten a chance to check out Holdup Displays here, I'm going to turn our camera here a little bit. Head over to the website. You can use that wall builder that we showed earlier, and you guys can kind of start picturing what a gun wall would look like in your house. So make sure you check out that link in the chat. Nate, I'm gonna move you to the top. You look like you've been itching. You've been itching to say something the entire time over there. So I don't know, Nate. What would you say to somebody that was thinking about getting one of these walls?
I'd say stop thinking and get on the website and figure it out and make it happen, because I mean, for us here at the shop, it's made a world of difference to display our artwork on the guns. It really puts things front and center. It makes everything look way more organized and clean. Plus, as you were talking about the rubber, one of my favorite things about the rubber on there is that it keeps the guns from sliding or slipping around. Where on other slat walled hangers, they're just metal, and so you got metal on metal just sliding around. It beats up your finish. Especially if you've got it Cerakoted or Duracoated. Most of the guns here at the shop are Duracoated. And so, in order to maintain that pristine look of the gun, having those rubber coated mounts just makes all the difference in the world. Plus, I mean, personally, I agree with you. The multicam black camo pattern looks absolutely banging. And if you have that in your gun room, I mean, you're going to make all your bros jealous, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Travis, this is one area that we didn't really touch on, but you guys do a good job explaining it. Richard in the chat said, "Was there a way to secure your weapons to these walls for safety reasons, like lock and key or something?"
Yeah, I saw that question too. I was hoping you'd hit it. So there is a lot of our customers. I'd say 90% of our customers secure the room, and then the guns are on display fixtures that you can lift off as you want to. But if you go to our website, there's a quick search up in the top right corner or the center. It's really easy. It's just a magnifying glass. Click on that and type in lock, LOCK, and that'll bring up all of our lock options, because there are different ways. You can do cables through the standard fixtures, or we do have some fixtures that actually have a sliding plate that locks on the aluminum slat and then has a trigger lock mounted to that plate. It is significantly more expensive to do it that way, just because of all of the hardware that goes into that. And we can do them key to like or random keys. I would definitely recommend key to like if you're going to do a whole room. But yeah, if the room can't be secured, that is an option.
Nice. There was one other one up here. Yeah, I gotta get Chanson 243. Reach out to Holdup. Send them an email. I'll say that. Send them an email. They're great to communicate with. You guys do a great job communicating. I know I sent you guys an email right in the, that was a shot in the dark for me too. So, and you guys communicated right away. So, Holdup does a good job at getting back to you right away. So, all right. Well, we're hitting that hour mark. Nate, you got anything else that you'd like to cover? I mean,
no. I mean, I just want to say thank you to Travis for hooking us up here at the shop. It absolutely transformed our showroom and made it just look so nice, and we get compliments every single day. Of course, now they're in the background of all of our videos. So we're kind of reciprocating that a little bit, and we're happy to do it because we really believe in this product. I mean, I wouldn't use any other gun wall. Gun Pegboard is right down the road from us. They're here in Georgia. They actually offered to do the same thing with us, and when we compared the two, there was no comparison. I hate to say it to the Georgia boys, but the Wisconsin boys beat them out. And it's just an awesome slat wall system. Literally the most sturdy, organizable, and pretty looking system. So, we're so lucky. We feel really lucky to be in this partnership with Holdup Displays.
Sweet. Well, we appreciate it very much as well, because it's we want to communicate as well as we can, like you said, and we want to know our products, know our customers. But the biggest thing that we benefit when customers love our products, because the networking and just the camaraderie, I think, around the shooting sports industry of like this is just the best. You can't buy that if you're not, right? You could pay a ton of people, but everybody be like, yeah, but that's not good. And we don't hear that, and that's not. If we do hear anything like that, I'm very, very set on changing it, because we're constantly working, like those vinyl insert strips or that install tool. Like, as we're using our products and we're listening to our customers, where's the pain points? We want to take those away. There's no such thing as perfection, but we're striving every day to make it better.
My suggestion.
So, Travis, before we sign off here, where do you where can everybody find you? Are you guys on socials, or you just have the website? Where can everybody find out about Holdup displays?
Yeah, well, a lot of people call and say you guys have the coolest looking stuff, and a lot of them are referring to our Instagram. But yeah, I believe we are on all the socials. That is not so much my world, but our marketing team has put it out there pretty hard. So I think if you own a piece of electronics, you can find us. But holdupdisplays.com is a great place to go and get a visual on the product. But if you're a little more old school, I mean, to be honest, you're probably not here, but that's okay. You just call the 800 number on our website or in any of the links that you can find, and you'll talk to a human being hopefully soon. If nobody's available, we'll call you back as soon as we can. Or send us an email at holdupdisplays.com. Contact at holdupdisplays.com.
Perfect. All right. Well, I think everybody's ready for the weekend. How about you, Date?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Unfortunately, here in Georgia, we have a weekend of rain coming up, so that kind of sucks. I was looking forward to possibly going coyote hunting again, but it doesn't look like a promise.
Well, in Wisconsin, we have a beautiful weekend coming up. It's a little cloudy today, but it's supposed to be like sunny and like upper 60s. So like,
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
It's getting into good fat guy weather, that's for sure.
The heat is broken.
All right. Well, Travis, we really appreciate you coming on, talking with us. We really appreciate your products. We're such a fan. Everything you guys did, top to bottom, even the instructions after we got to them and read them. Fantastic product, and so we couldn't be happier with it. And in fact, I'm going to turn my camera here a little bit. There we go. You can see Dustin in the background. But that wall back there might need a new wall. We're continuously growing, and so we're tripping over guns. I got too many guns, guys. So
no
come
such
by.
thing.
Yeah, come buy some guns. So we might have to talk with you in the future about that. But anyways, we're gonna sign off here. So everybody, you have a good night. We really appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah,
and we will see you on the next one.
All right.
Take care. God bless.
See ya.